What happened in Lithuania is a somber reminder that even when our troops are not in combat, their training missions are dangerous and their lives are at risk. A routine training exercise in Lithuania turned fatal when 4 U.S. Army soldiers died. Their armored vehicle sank in a bog in Lithuania and no one knew. They were reported missing and a massive search was undertaken involving hundreds of personnel from Lithuania, the United States, Poland, and Estonia. And Trump said nothing. Worse, Trump pretended that he didn't even know about it. I'm going to show how Trump's response yesterday was even worse, demonstrating in the clearest terms possible what we already know. Trump does not give a damn about the people who serve in the military. They are only props and set pieces for him, no better than the statues and props he has in the Oval Office. Let's just take a look at the progression of Trump's responses. Here is his first response, and it's a Trump classic.
About soldiers in Lithuania. Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't.
I don't know who on his team thinks feigning ignorance is a good look on Trump. I'm sure it stems from the idea that 70% of the country thinks he's stupid, so it's an easy sell. But it doesn't work. We know he's lying. You can see it in the blink. Yep, he's lying. Then once it's all over the news, Trump finally responds. But that's the point. Trump responded. He didn't lead. No announcement from Trump himself. 4 service people died, and he can't bring himself to tell the nation. And why? One of the reasons is because we depended on NATO to find and recover the bodies, and that runs counter to his image. So in the absence of any information coming from Trump, a reporter asked him. Watch him bungle this response.
Mr. President, have you had any updates on the U.S. soldiers missing in Lithuania?
I have.
Can you give us an update?
So 3 are no longer with us, and 1 is unfortunately probably in the same category, but they haven't declared that yet. It was a very heavy truck, like a toy, but I mean really heavy, that lifted the heaviest equipment. And it would seem that the bank of the lake collapsed. You know, the weight is so big. And it was at night, and it was very cold weather, and ice, a lot of ice.
And this is how completely out of touch and unprepared Trump is. He doesn't even know what the appropriate term is here. You can see him catching himself and wondering if he should use the word died. But then here's the real tell of the tape to this response. He spends more time talking about the truck than he does the soldiers. So if you're thinking, okay, well, at least it's over and Trump can't make it any worse, then you don't know Trump. Because as is custom with the U.S. military, bodies of deceased military personnel are brought back to the U.S. for burial, and the president frequently goes to Andrews Air Base to commemorate the arrival of the deceased. So did Trump go and offer his respect and gratitude to the fallen? Of course not. Here's what Trump was doing. Yes, that's right. Instead of making the trip to Andrews Air Force Base, Trump chose instead to hightail it out of town and run to his Doral Golf Club in Miami for the Saudi-owned LIV golf tournament. Somehow it's not comforting to know that he trashed the world economy in one day and ran out of town to go golfing. It's even worse knowing that he skipped out on 4 servicemen who made the ultimate sacrifice for this country just because they can't carry his 9-iron anymore. And will the media give him a pass on this? Of course they will. Will they make any fuss at all? Of course they won't, or Trump will withdraw their access. Who, then, shall speak for our honored dead? Certainly not Trump, the commander-in-chief. But thousands of Lithuanians lined the streets in a show of dignity and respect as the bodies of Sergeant Jose Dueñas Jr., 25, of Joliet, Illinois, Sergeant Edwin F. Franco, 25, of Glendale, California, PFC Dante D. Taitano, 21, of Dededo, Guam, and Staff Sergeant Troy S. Knutson Collins, 28, of Battle Creek, Michigan, were driven out to the flight base to return to the United States.
I think it's important to be here today to have a memorial day for the people that tragically died.
The soldiers who perished, they're defending Lithuanian freedom. So I feel every Lietuvist who stands up and shows solidarity with them helps reinforce that NATO is a force for good and helps keep Eastern Europe and democracy, the values we all hold dear together, safe.
Have you been briefed about the soldiers in Lithuania who are missing?
No, I haven't. And it was at night, and it was very cold weather, and ice, a lot of ice, and it's possibly slipped. And the weight is so enormous of this thing. It's a massively heavy vehicle, and if they slipped a little bit, it's probably what happened, and it flipped. And 3 are gone, and 1 is missing.
On a separate topic.
I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.